Hey, welcome back to Rithmetic with Ron. Today we're going to talk about what happens when we calculate a percent decrease. What happens when something goes down in value by a certain amount? How do we find that new percentage? We'll talk about that today. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit subscribe and enjoy the video. Let's start our discussion of percent decrease with this same diagram and this same concept, just like we did with percent increase. Let's take a pie and let's cut it into equal pieces. So each one is 20% if I have 5 of them. And what we're going to talk about now is a decrease means one of them is getting taken away. Okay? Now this is gone and no longer exists. And this is all I have left. One way to think about this is with money. What happens if this represents the cost of a meal? Let's say you go out for dinner and you spend $40 on a meal. Well, if the meal was split up into 5 equal pieces, 40 divided into 5 equal pieces would be 8, right? 40 divided by 5 is 8, because if you run it backwards, you get multiplication. 8 times 5 is 40, okay? So this is a true statement. 5 different pieces equally split among $40. Each one of these would have been $8, okay? Now, why are we doing that? Well, because what we want to understand is that this piece down here was $8, but now because of the decrease, we're saying you don't have to pay that. A 20% decrease in the cost of something means the price goes down. You're not paying that $8 now, okay? So this is just a visual way to think about what is happening when we have a percent decrease. With money, the most common way to talk about this is a sale, okay? Black Friday shopping, everything's 50% off. That's what we're doing, is a percent decrease. So let's take a look at an example of this. Speaking of Black Friday shopping, why don't we say that we're out shopping for a new video game system, and let's say that the price on the video game system that you wanted was $400, and now they're saying we're going to have a 40% off sale, okay? This means that 40% of the cost of this you're not paying anymore, okay? So if we could take a video game system that was $400 and break it up into percentages, 40% of it goes away and you're not paying that, okay? So there's a couple of ways we can do this. The first way would be to say, well, what is 40% of 400? Okay, 400 times 40%. We want to see how much that is. Well, 40% is nothing more than 1, 2, well, it's 0.4 as a decimal. Okay, from a percentage to a decimal, you move the decimal point to the left 2 places. So 400 times 0.4, okay? I'm going to use that same trick as before, where I remember or I write down that I have 1 place value to the right of the decimal. So I'm going to remember that for later. And now I'm going to rewrite it as 400 times 4. And this is a little bit easier now because 400 is 4 times 100. So I can multiply these two 4s and get 16 and add the zeros at the end, okay? This problem right here, because the 400 ends in 2 zeros, it's the same as 4 times 4 with 2 zeros on the end. But now let's go back and remember my 1 place value. So instead of the decimal point being here, we'll put it here. 400 times 40%, or 0.4, is $160. That means that of this $400 video game system, there's a chunk of it that's going to go away, okay? This is the part that I don't have to pay for. And how much was it? It was $160. So this means that of the $400, I can take away $160. I'm taking the whole price and I'm removing the part that I don't have to pay for. And if you take 400 and subtract 160, you should get 240, okay? This is now what's left over. That's the part that you're going to have to pay for, okay? There's another way to look at that same problem that might be more helpful. We're starting with $400. That is the 100% price that we started with. But now, because we have a percent decrease, we're going to subtract 40%. This is the sale or the discount or the decrease. So if I started with 100 and I subtract 40, what I'm really going to pay is 60%. Okay? This is what's left. This is the part that we need to pay for. So $400 times 60%. Let's turn this into a decimal by moving the decimal point to the left 2 spaces. So this is the same as 400 times 0.6. Well, 400 times 0.6 has 1 digit to the right of the decimal. Let's keep track of that. We're just going to do 400 times 6 and realize that at the end we need 1 digit to the right of the decimal. 6 times 4 is 24, and I have 2 zeros, 1, 2. 1 digit needs to be to the right of the decimal, so where do I put the decimal where I have 1 digit to the right? Right here. So the final answer is 240, and that's how much the video game system costs if it was $400 but had a 40% decrease, $240. Let's say that you're buying trophies for a soccer team, okay? I'm not an artist. There we go. There's our trophy, okay? Not a great picture, but we're going to buy trophies for a soccer team, and let's say that you need 10 of them, okay? 10 each. Well, the trophy store tells you that if you buy them one at a time, they are $100 a piece, okay? The trophies are $100 each. However, if you buy all 10 of them at the same time, they'll give you 10% off. Not dollars, 10% off, okay? You get a discount. Oh, mercy. Let's try that one more time. 10% off if you buy all 10 of the trophies at once instead of a few here and a few there. Okay, how much is it going to cost for 10 trophies if we buy them all at once? This one takes a little bit more work because we have to know what we're starting with. What is our initial 100% price? Well, it would be 10 trophies and they each cost $100, okay? 10 times $100 is $1,000. $1,000 is our original 100% cost. But now, because we're going to buy them all together, we get 10% off. I'm going to subtract 10%, which means that what I'm really paying is 90% of the price. Okay? Go into the trophy store, going to buy them all at once. I'm only going to pay 90% since it's 10% off. A discount means I'm now paying less than what I started with. What is 90% of $1,000? 1,000 times 90% is the same as 1,000 times 1, 2, 0.9, okay? And when you do that math, what you're going to get is $900. It's a good idea to check your answers and see if they make sense. If you got 10% off, then you should be paying less than the original, and look at that, we are. If you got a bigger number than $1,000, then you might go back and say, maybe instead of 10% off, maybe I accidentally calculated 10% more. Go back and look at your answer when you do these kinds of problems and just give it the test, does it make sense? So today we saw how we can calculate a percent decrease, which is a really useful thing to know. Thanks for watching the video. Go ahead and send any comments, and we'll see you next time.